Smile for the camera, honey. Smile for the camera. Do that cute thing again. Do it again! Family vlogging and family content creation is probably one of the more sickening developments of the modern world. In decades previous, like the 1980s or the 1970s, way back when, you would make home videos for the sake of making home videos, so that in years down the line, you and your family could fondly reflect on the time you had together. Hell, even I myself have memories of my father at one of my scout swim meets, holding up one of those big, bulky, battery-operated cameras. That was, of course, before he left our family, as we were dirt poor and he had to get shipped off to Iraq so we could eat. With that frame of context in mind, isn't it a crying shame that family vlogging wasn't around when we were growing up? Oh, my dad and mum probably could have exploited me and my siblings in order to make some freak across the internet happy and live vicariously through us. Yes, it would have sucked really bad to have every developmental part of my life uploaded and every snippet and accomplishment so that 50-year-old women can feel like they know me as a person even though I know nothing about them. But at least my daddy would have been home. Ooh, Jesus Christ, never mind. Stay in Iraq, you bitch. That's right, my friends. Today we're going to be talking about a story that involves two words that should never be said in the same sentence. Cameras and child abuse. To the shock of absolutely no one of these family channels' parents have been arrested on child abuse charges. Before we get into the details of the why, how, and when, a bit of backstory on this family in particular. In the year 2015, the YouTube channel 8 Passengers was launched by the patriarch and matriarch of the homestead, Ruby and Kevin. The aim of their channel was allegedly to show off their family dynamic and their lifestyle, as well as to show off their 6 children and parenting style, whose faces I would blur, but honestly, is there really even a point? Every minute of these children's lives are already online, and if someone really wanted to, they could find their faces like that. From my digging and sleuthing, it would indicate that a lot of these videos were focused more heavily on the younger children, and my assumption is because they're cute and they sell the best because their family is a product line, but occasionally there would also be videos featuring the older children and what was going on with them. There was nothing crazy. Mr. Beast didn't come out the wall like Kool-Aid Man, and for all intents and purposes, it looked like they were cut from the same cloth as every other family channel. Now, even in the early days, when the channel was still active, because a year ago it got shut down mysteriously, with no explanation given to as why, clips and videos were circulating from key parts of the vlog that were a little bit sus. A lot of these segments were kind of objective and really down to the viewer whether or not they determined it as abuse, but one did stick out to me like an absolute sore thumb. Remember that clip you kind of saw in passing of the young man sat next to his mother? Well, in that clip, that is her son explaining to the mother, or rather explaining to the audience, us, that one of his punishments was he wasn't allowed to have his own bedroom for a whole 7 months. Even in the wildest and worst scenarios that I could possibly imagine, stripping a teenage boy of his bedroom as punishment is not only weird, it's kind of sadistic and cruel. And then telling that teenage son he has to sleep on a beanbag chair for however many months is just downright insanity. Number one concern is, where is my boy meant to nut? Trust me, at that age that is important, because my homie may as well be Spider-Man with the way his hands would stick to walls. And the second concern is, I don't understand why the mother is seeing privacy as a privilege. To an extent, you should allow your children their own personal space. I mean, take it from me, I've abandoned at least 6 of my kids, and as a result, they've got all the privacy from me that they could ever want. Now, what's more disturbing than the mother thinking the privacy is something she can just take away is the issue at hand that we're going to talk about now, and the specific child abuse charges that have been brought up against her. On the 30th of August 2023, the year of our Lord and Savior, Miss Frankie was taken into custody by the Washington Sheriff's Department. This was after they were called out by one of her neighbors. You see, on that date in question, apparently and allegedly, one of Ruby's children managed to unlatch a window and climb straight through it. They then sprinted across their garden and banged on a neighbor's door. To the neighbor's shock and horror, after opening the front door, they were met with the present gaze of a malnourished, thirsty child whose wrists, legs, and mouth indicated binding marks, as in she was tied down with either duct tape or rope. The police, after entering the home, found another child in similar conditions. Now, the mad thing about this is it wasn't just Ruby who was arrested. Her business partner was arrested under the exact same charge. I'm not entirely sure if that charge was alongside Ruby's charge, as in she was an accomplice to the crime, but it's key to note that she was also taken taken in. Now, for the record, guys, I'm gonna say on this channel, we don't stand with child abuse, okay? It's very much a no-no, and I could stand you for another 12 minutes just saying that over and over again while I tickle your taint to keep my watch time up, but that's boring. Personally, I think those kids deserved it. Just once I want to take that stance. The polar opposite of whatever opinion you're supposed to have. Well, you tell me what those Jewish people were doing in World War II. I'm just saying there's two sides to every story, man. Look, it's very obvious to anybody with a brain cell that this sucks and is very sad. But I'm equally as mad at YouTube, the platform, as I am at the mother. Hear me out for a second. I mean, there's a very good chance that Ruby was still going to be an abusive parent regardless of whether or not she could turn her kids into products online. But I do think for someone who's mentally deranged, the ability to start disassociating your kids as your kids because you see them as a product or an other through a camera lens probably didn't help the matter. If you had trouble following what I just said there, don't worry, your boy's not a political streamer. I'll actually explain my work. I think the fact that there's a platform that enables parents to otherize their kids, i.e. turn them into products, probably has some kind of mental effect on the parents. Suddenly punishing your kids isn't punishing your kids. You're punishing your product that makes you finance. It's like a vending machine, right? It swallows your quarter, you gotta kick it to get your soda out. Except in this case, it's a body of an 8-year-old boy. So what exactly am I suggesting we do about it? Easier. Ban it all. Platform-wide, nationwide, everywhere wide. No more child content in any form except for movies. And that is only allowed when there's agents, family members, and even parents involved in the process. I know dodgy stuff still happens even in those scenarios, but at least there's preventative measures. In my brain, there is absolutely zero reason a child should be on the internet as the main focus at all. Why is a child the star of a toy unboxing channel? For the parents to make profit. Why is the child the star of a family vlogging channel? For the parents to make profit. I personally don't think it should be allowed, and I think that YouTube as a platform has a burden of responsibility to not allow it. You're creating a vehicle of abuse unintentionally, and you are creating a vehicle of exploitation intentionally. But what if the child says they want to start a YouTube channel? Well, the funny thing about that is, the child is a child. Do you know what you are? The parent! If it were up the kid, he'd eat nothing but peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and drink Coca-Cola all day. I can't fathom the idea as a parent wanting to show off your kid this much. Wanting to shove a camera in their eyeballs and face and mouth every day of their life. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm okay with occasionally taking a picture of your kid or a video, but you would not catch me dead as a proud abandoning father near my children in the first place and exploiting them in the second place. There is no other rhyme or reason why you were recording them this much. If you truly wanted all of the precious family memories, you would record it all and save it for your own use later. The internet would not be getting involved. And this is a direct message to every single family vlogger, every single family caravanner, every single mother who shoves a camera in their kid's face and dad who does the same. You are an atrocious parent. What you're doing is child abuse, and I hate you with every fiber of my being. I hope you choke on an Eggo and die, because at least then your kids might have the chance of growing up in a normal way, and probably better off without you. Mic drop! And pick it back up because I forgot something else. One more thing that you parents who are exploiting your children may fail to consider is, you know, all of that footage, voice, and camera work you do with their faces and beings? Yeah, there's a lot of deep AI learning tools nowadays that can develop those photos into something more insidious. That, for example, say a disgusting creep could turn all of those lovely videos and voice recordings you made for him into his own private video featuring your child. A disgusting thought, no? An impossible one even. Well, if you think it's impossible, tell me why popular streamers are being kind of deep-faked into very compromising poses and positions for creeps' entertainment and pleasure. You think those deranged sickos aren't doing the same thing? They're probably doing it 10 times worse and you're just unaware of it. And while we're on the topic of being unaware, you were probably unaware of who I was before this video. If that is the case, you should legally subscribe, seeing as you watched the whole thing anyway. That's all I have to say on the matter, guys. A big thank you for watching, and I shall see you later. Bye bye.